Hi, this is Billie Beene here with my second episode, Weather by Billie. Today's date, September 20, 2022. This is a new YouTube channel for me. I have a subscribe button in the lower right corner of my screen. Thanks for like, subscribe, and share. Winter. A trap has been set for Europe, for sure. Some of my sources are God in the Bible, Patriot subscribers, AccuWeather, Steve Quayle's site, contributor Health Impact News, Hal Turner, Decode, his interview recently by Undergrd Patriot. Yeah, so let's get started. Okay, I've been talking about winter coming up. And some of my sources for this was Cliff High, and with this WebBot program. The brilliant Cliff High designed this program in late 90s, early 2000s to send spiders, WebBots out on the internet, collect language. He then wrote an algorithm to count the frequency of words and thus predict the future, because we humans are created in the image of God. We think, we speak, we create reality. That's correct. So what he came up with was an ice age in 2030. And also Alex Collier, his information from Off-World also supported this. So we have Suspicious Observers. That's a science-based program. Space weather program also comes up with this same scenario, and that's based on cycles, Earth cycles. This is also my area of study in college, so I'm familiar with these cycles. And so Ice Age in 2030. So, what Cliff and Ben and Gene and other sources are coming out. Okay, so we have this Ice Age coming in 2030. Here we are at 2022. The cooling cycle is beginning now. So, we're cooling down. We're not heating up. And we're going to have earlier and longer and colder winters. So now, how does this play into what's going on with Europe? So we'll see. And also, AccuWeather is predicting for the winter of 2022 to 2023. 12 plus storms, heavy rain, precip, snow, ice, wind, but and in Europe, in some areas, especially East Europe, much colder temperatures, like in Ukraine, Latvia, Estonia, Slovakia, Poland. So now it's going to be also very cold in other parts of Europe. So now we have this. We have the Inquirer, QUIRER.net source, coming out with this, that Russia, because Europe has been prodded into sanctions, and I'll go into that, against Russia, cutting off their oil and gas, from the Nord Stream pipeline. This is roughly 40% of the oil and gas to Europe, especially for Germany. So currently this Inquirer.net is saying the shadow U.S. government and the shadow NATO are blocking the flow from these pipelines across Ukraine, and we know that's true. And now Europe is opening again their coal plants, because they're understanding that by December their children could be freezing to death. So that's going on. And also, AccuWeather is reporting that the cost of gas has gone up in Europe in the past, since 2020, 600%. So we see a stranglehold on the people of Europe. But the intent, I assure you, is literally to depopulate. Okay, now we have health impact news. It's talking about, a U.S. plan. And we also have gene decode. And we have this information coming out. This is health impact news. That a Swedish agency has obtained a leaked document from the RAND Corporation, which we now understand from gene decode is all the employees are members of the 13 bloodlines, the deep state. Okay. So what came out is this leaked document was released to the Democratic Party and the shadow part of the current U.S. government, because we know that JB is an actor puppet. One of the deep state's locations for control of what's going on in the U.S. is at Fort McPherson in Atlanta, Georgia. So the RAND Corporation from the 13 bloodline deep states had planned this situation that's going on now in Europe to take down, because the RAND Corporation considered Germany and the European Union to be a threat to the money supply of the deep state. So their plan was to goad the European Union into sanctions against Russia and thus cut their oil and gas, which we understand now is destroying the economy of Germany and Europe. But these people are going to be freezing, and their children are going to be freezing. A prediction made by Marine retired military analyst Scott Ritter. By December in Germany, their children are going to be freezing to death for lack of energy. So that was the shadow RAND Corporation and the shadow U.S. government and the shadow U.S. military and the shadow NATO. Intent on destroying Germany and the European nations, all of the European nations. And that was the intent of the European Commission, to take all the money from all these nations and control the people. It's anticipated. It's not just the people in the United States of America, but people all across the globe are going to rise up and take back their governments. And under the coming economic change, Sarah, the European nations will regain their control over each nation and be able to implement their own currency and return to their own cultural traditions and language. So that's coming. But it's good to know who is your enemy. So currently for Germany and Europe, one enemy is the RAND Corporation, operating out of the U.S. shadow government. Okay. So that's going on. And now we have this coming, a report already in the Carpathian Mountains in Ukraine, the first snow. So this winter is to come earlier, last longer, and be colder, and that has to do with global weather changes leading into an ice age. So, the people of Germany and the people of Europe can be assured that Russia is not their enemy and would be happy to turn the oil and gas on again. The people in Germany and in Europe need to rise up and take control of their government. So, have a blessed day. I love you, and I'll see you soon.